every year, every federal employee has to have, it's mandatory by government, whistleblower training every single year and insider threat training every single year. And my whole time in the FBI, they were always separate. This year we found out, because thankfully there are still some good people in the FBI, that training was merged into one. So the FBI didn't even say, whistleblowing is good and you can do it like they used to. They used to say, yeah, it's protected. Now they combine those trainings overtly saying whistleblowers are insider threats. I mean, that was the takeaway from the people we know in the agency who took that training. That slide deck was released to the public, so we can go see it. It's online. And it's like, okay, so the FBI is not even trying to hide the fact that they will retaliate against you. And I think that's government-wide. Look what's happening with the IRS whistleblower and his squad right now. But the FBI has a culture. They have had a culture since Hoover's era of FBI first, no matter what. And if you go against the FBI,
I can see that.
We're coming for you.
Well, I applaud you guys for speaking truth to power, right? You're shining light on justice. There's a lot of people that probably do not want you talking whatsoever. Who would you say is at the top of that list? What names, what people, what institutions are like, Garret, friend, get these guys, silence these guys, muzzle them right now? Who's at the top of that list?
I think the DNC as a whole, we were, in-person recipients of that at that hearing. The things they were saying, the way they were twisting things and lying about us and about our whistleblower status and comparing us to people who committed espionage and whatever else. And then I think the mainstream media as well, because they're lackeys of the political elite, and the political elite are typically on the left. And so my deposition that I went to in February really stands out for me, because I was led to believe, just like I was with my transfer, I was led to believe in good, and I accepted both in good faith that everything was kosher. So I go to my deposition. A couple weeks later, I get a call from my attorney, and he says, "Hey, buddy, I got some bad news for you. I got a call from CNN, and they have your name, and they have some information about your deposition." I was told, "Don't talk about this deposition unless it's with a privileged party." And so I left that deposition thinking, like, hopefully they will investigate this. And I told them there, to the Democrat attorneys as well, who sat in on the deposition, because that's what I agreed to do, because it's not a partisan issue. Or it should not be a partisan issue, but we're seeing that it clearly is.
It's a right or wrong issue. It's like, bro, you have a soul. You want to just be a good person. You're a Christian, and it's like, bro, we talked about this many podcasts. Evil right now, I don't care what anybody thinks out there. Evil is winning so hard, and it's embedded in our government, the governments of the world. And I feel like we need people like you, but their power is so freaking strong. They've all sold their souls to the devil, and the price is not cheap, bro. They got to hold up that bargain.
Who else would you put on the list? You got the DNC, you get the mainstream media.
Obviously the FBI.
Okay. Yeah. At the FBI as a whole, the Ray, certain bureaucrats, every other agent?
SCS level, yeah, at least. Or HQ as a whole, most likely.
Okay. Who would you say, Steve?
Yeah, I would agree that the executive levels, and also at the Department of Justice, too. That even goes down to the management structure, even ASAC level. So assistant special agents in charge that are still on the GS scale, because they are climbers. Don't ruin my gig for me. So I'll name check Colt Markovsky and Sean Ryan as the ASACs who sat in the office for me. And when when I said to him that I took an oath to protect the Constitution, and he responded back to me, "You have a duty to the FBI." That was just a watershed moment for me. When I took my oath, I swore that oath in front of God and my family and people who sat around me who I thought were my friends.
Right. How uncomfortable is it to actually name names?
At this point, I wouldn't pee on him if he was on fire.
Wow.
Wow.
Here's my question to both of you, since you guys, were in the FBI. Do you think because you guys have come out and you're doing this, are they monitoring you guys? Do you think, is there a possibility? Because you guys would know of anybody.
Are they doing what they actually do for a living?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are they tapping you guys? Are they monitoring? Are they making sure you guys don't go? I don't know the depths of how much information. I'm pretty sure you guys have information, but you think they're watching you guys?
I don't know for sure, but the day I got suspended, I had a very odd thing happen with my phone while I was talking to an attorney, and it basically cut out, and then I couldn't get back in touch with him, and I was getting an automated message. And once I did get back in touch with him, and this attorney, he's a retired FBI agent also. And I said, hey, I explained to him what happened. And he goes, oh, yeah, they probably tapped your phone.
Oh, great.
Who do you think's watching this right now?
Headquarters, right?
Security division definitely is. I know that for a fact. I did an interview with them, and they were very tongue in cheek about, oh, we were big fans of that podcast you did. I was like, I'm glad you gave. Did you give him a like?
Okay. Yeah, guys, quick reminder: like, subscribe to PPD Podcast.
Hey, leave a 5-star review.
Yeah.
Going back to what you were saying when I asked the question about the omerta, the code, and they trained you, it's FBI above this. You said, you got to tell your story. What was the one story you wanted to share?
That was he said my duty was to the FBI and not to the Constitution.
Do you have the clip about, where I believe it's, I want to say, which one is it where it says they will destroy you, they will crush you and your family? I think you have the clip. If you can play this clip it's that one right there. This is, Garret, this is you talking in this one. Yeah, that's you. Just play the whole clip. I want the whole thing. We have a 20-second one, but play this one.
All of the hardships you've gone through. If one of your really good friends, your former colleagues, came to you and said, I have this thing that is being covered up, and I think the American people need to know about it, what advice would you give them?
I would tell them first to pray about it, long and hard. And I would tell them I could take it to Congress for them, or I could put them in touch with Congress, but I would advise them not to do it.
So you would legitimately try to protect one of your colleagues from doing what you have done?
Absolutely.
And how do you think that solves being able to shine light on corruption, weaponization, any kind of misconduct that exists with the American people?
It doesn't solve it. But the FBI will crush you. This government will crush you and your family if you try to expose the truth about things that they are doing that are wrong. And we are all examples of that.
I mean, that's pretty powerful.
I can't think of a more sobering way to end a hearing. I yield back.
So you would tell them not to. So now if you go back a year ago and you're having that conversation with your wife, whatever the timeline is when you wouldn't have done what you've done already?
I'm not saying if I had a crystal ball, I don't know, because how do you sleep at night then? And, I have 4 little girls now. Back then we had 3. And I had a conversation with my ASAC at one point, and he was trying to walk me off the ledge a little bit. And I think he was acting like me doing the wrong thing, so just towing the line, was caring for my family. I think that's cowardice. And in the book of Revelation, it tells us that cowards will be judged when they sit before the Lord. And how could I then, as a man, raise my daughters to be women of integrity and to do the right thing even when it's hard if I wasn't willing to do it? So I'm not saying I wouldn't have done it, but the congressman asked me if one of my really good friends came to me with that information. Not only would I do what I answered for a friend, I would do it for somebody that I don't know in the FBI. If they were too unwilling or too afraid to do it, but they knew that they had something that needed to be brought forward. I made my oath many times, twice in the Army, once when I re-enlisted as a police officer, as an FBI agent. I meant it, and I was willing to stand in the breach. I'm in the breach now, so bring it to me. That's fine. I'm okay with that, and we will get it to Congress or whistleblower attorneys or wherever it needs to go, because the American people need to know this stuff.
Yeah, there's no question about it that we need to know this stuff, but it ruins lives, man. Meaning people like you, it ruins your life. And Sylvia Garcia, I think, was a congresswoman from California, was trying to say, you're not a whistleblower, you're not a whistleblower, you're not a whistleblower. And I think Debbie Wasserman, who comes across as a total sweetheart from Florida.
Very good hairdo.
She was talking about how this whole thing is about the book and you're doing, just the book. And then another lady comes out and says, I cannot believe what you guys are doing. This is defunding the police on steroids. She was the one from U.S. Virgin Islands, Blaskett, yeah, when she said that. So you see this stuff. Obviously, this is the part of discrediting, right? Defund, which was phase 1, we're suspending you with pay, right? If they're suspending you, you're not getting paid. No. And then 7,500, which, by the way, strategically, it's the dumbest thing to do. If you want somebody to go away and not typically what would happen in business is here's a severance package, sign this defamation, hold harmless, and move on. They do the opposite. So these guys would be terrible in business. They're dummies if they're not doing this. The way to do this is, listen, we're going to give you 1 year this. Good luck to you. We're sorry it didn't work out. Wish you nothing but the best. But no, they cornered you where you had to do this and come out and talk about it. So also, running an organization is not a wise thing that they're doing.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.